you want my mic stand?
No, but okay.
Okay, is it going to be okay?
I don't know. Are we going?
Okay, today you know who's back. Our beloved.
Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
Guess who's back?
See, we could sing this because it's me singing, so it's a cover.
Exactly. Yeah, no,
Eminem
it's not
cover.
copyright. You guys don't know what I just went through to get Robby
Hold on.
to record. That's why she's still doing her emails. She said I'm taking away an hour from her work. But the thing is, they like ASMR at the beginning. Hold on. I missed the crack.
Well, maybe they'll like.
Well, yeah, blow on your glasses into the mic. The thing is that we don't really like doing each other's podcasts because I think it feels too professional. And we do like to keep our
What
work
feels
separate.
too professional?
I don't know. There's something about doing each other's pods that like puts us in a weird place. Don't you think? Because it was pulling teeth this morning, and I knew it would, which is why I tried to remind. But I was the same way going on to yours, so I know it's just not ideal. And I like 4 times a year, that's all you get, you guys. But let's start with a kiss.
Okay, because her lipstick, so we can't really kiss. So now I do have a kiss.
Okay, well, let's do a check-in.
Okay.
How are you feeling?
Well, overwhelmed because I wanted to answer a few emails before doing this, but when Gabs, lays it down, I got to get down there and work for free. Am I getting kickback on this, Lovey?
Of course, babe.
Actually, I get a ton of kickback.
Yeah.
Guys.
And hopefully
Did
my
you post
producer
that
doesn't.
ass?
Yeah, hopefully I'm late. I'm a day late getting this in. So apologies to all of my production team. By all my production team, I mean one producer, Carolina. Big shout out. She is the best and she deserves it.
But it's like they have to know with talent. Like, yes, there's a schedule, but it's more of like an idea of a schedule.
I know, but I like to stick to the schedule.
Babe,
I like
it's
to be
really hot in
responsible.
here. You're gonna have to.
I gotta
get
an
an AC.
Yeah, no, or a fan or something.
A fan.
Okay, well, let's introduce you. You guys may have obviously Hubby, baby, Robby, wifey. You've a real star, just honestly made for TV.
I'm really coming up now.
Yeah, no, you're like incredibly famous. You're just blowing
What's
up.
it like to be with somebody famous?
It's amazing. People are like, I love your wife on Hacks. I'm like, oh my God, you're telling me. I told you right from the beginning I had a crush on Randy.
Babe, I hate when you have a crush on Randy.
This is my type.
No,
that's
she
how
thinks like this that she has a crush on Randy. It's like
I do.
I can't. I've separated. I've really separated.
If I didn't know you and I watched Hacks and I saw Randy, I'd be like, that this is what I need. But the thing is that now I already have it.
You got to get the Aquaphor. So my lips are very chapped because I've been
She doesn't want it. She's been sucking on that thing. She's been sucking on that thing. She read one page of Alan Carr's Can I Quit Vaping? And then she said the whole time, well, I can smoke. I can vape throughout reading the book.
Vape,
but then she's been reading the book for 3 weeks.
I've stopped at page 25 where it says continue to vape. I don't know what it says after that.
Yeah, well, you're just following the rules. I don't know if but I'm just not concerned with it. It doesn't bother me. Some people are like, if my boyfriend vaped, it's just like giving me the ick. I'm like,
no, I do want to
to
stop vaping though.
No,
you
nothing.
Can't be supportive of this, love.
No, I think it's fine. We all have to have our vices. I think it's,
You're my vice.
What are we without vices?
You're my little vicey girly.
Okay, well, let's get into some questions. I mean, you may have seen Robby recently. She's, I have to say it, the new star of Hacks. Every scene she's in.
New star of Dying for Sex, opposite
and
Michelle Williams.
And I'm going to get into that too.
Okay, there's a new project I'm in. I'm acting on a tremendous amount, but I can't speak to it. And as you know, I sold a show in the room to HBO.
I don't know if they know that. I don't know if they know it's in the room. That's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. That's all I'll say about it. You know how nervous I get, Lovey.
Okay, well, do you get nervous on set?
Not on set, but I get nervous to talk about things. First of all, it's a very hard time for people. And for some reason, my life has been so tumultuous. By the time I grew up and I got some security. It seems like now when the whole world is falling apart, we thrive.
I feel
Because
the same
I'm so
way.
I'm so used to disasters that I actually do well in a disaster. So it's like the writer's strike. A lot came out of good for me. You know, the fires, we got married. You know, like I just feel like, you know, it's disastrous times and that's where I thrive. And it's a sad truth why that is because of my upbringing. But at the same time, it's helped me when everybody is struggling. It seems like that's where I click on and I'm able to figure it out.
Well, I think it's a bigger like I don't know what you call it, but we went through so much as kids. And I don't even know if it's conscious. I feel like it's unconscious. It's like I don't know if we're used to this kind of feeling or energy or fuck. It's like god damn, we deserve a break. But I made the most money during COVID. I also worked 80 hours a week.
No, but
it was an opportunity for me to make money, which I never had as a nurse.
Well, it's like, you know, people who are very anxious apparently in
Do you
COVID.
think I have a camel toe?
Let me see. Oh. Not really, but you're trying to have a camel toe.
No, I'm not, babe. No one's trying to have a camel toe, but I do have long lips.
No,
it's
you
not
don't,
my fault.
babe.
Yes,
Babe,
I
you
do.
know
They
I'm,
go like
babe.
this.
You don't.
Babe,
You
long
have a
outside
perfect,
lips.
You really don't.
I do. They hang.
No,
They.
she tries to be relatable, guys. Her puss is perfect. I'm
not trying to be relatable. I'm saying my labia majora.
There's nothing relatable
no,
here,
they just,
babe. There's nothing relatable.
I don't think it's bad. I'm not trying to be relatable.
I'm telling you.
I think.
Is this my Gatorade?
I feel lucky that I don't. You know, I don't have any issues with
Gatorade on ice. Is that nice?
Gatorade Zero. Okay, well, what's on your rider?
I wish I had a mic stand. Like, you know, I'm a fidgeter.
Babe, it's fine. Do you want to switch? She needs a break. Okay, after you're done, what's on your rider? She likes to make
I feel
me
like
wait.
I can't fidget enough. I don't have a rider, babe. What do you? Okay, you're actually the fan. I don't have. What's on your rider?
I can't even. A part of me wants to say I've only been asked about a writer once, but I think that's a figment. I think I'm wishing that was true. I don't have a
Somebody.
writer.
I went into a room. I will say when I did John Mulaney, Everybody's Live with John Mulaney on Netflix. I got in my room and there was matzah there. So I was like, I don't know if this is racist, if it's thoughtful. Like, it was only like, it was bizarre snacks in my room. It's like, it's not Passover. There was matzah there.
Well, that's because
and then
I
they
told
said,
them.
well, they spoke to Gabby and she said, I love matzah. But we were just coming out of Passover where I had one.
She was giving me
box
matzah all the
of
time.
matzah.
And you're not a big snacker. That's what I said. I was like, well, she's not a huge snacker. I know you just like green tea, especially before a show. You're probably going to be nervous. So I'm like, she's just really not a big snacker. You know, and they asked, well, it doesn't have to be a snack. It can be anything. You know, and I was thinking it would be a nice surprise if you saw egg matzah. But I can understand
it wasn't
how
egg matzah. It was shmor matzah.
No, I specifically asked for egg, and I Googled it, and it was that
wasn't
brand.
egg. They didn't bring me egg matzah, though.
Well, we have the same.
I have egg matzah still, so.
Okay, but were you surprised? And I sent you flowers.
The flowers were psychotic, amazing. I was like, I was like, it's John Mulaney's show. Meanwhile, there's a big hubbub about me. There's flowers. Your wife sent flowers. I was like, that's why it's like.
I knew you were going to hate it, but I knew.
No, I loved it. I loved the flowers.
I knew people working on production, and they're the best. And
they were amazing. Shout out to the production team, too.
Corey and Steph.
Everybody's Live.
I know. So they really helped me hook it up for you because I want you to know that I love you.
Oh, baby, I know that.
And I couldn't
but you
be
know
there.
what? I love you. Do you know that? Because you're the one with your depression and all this stuff that you sometimes can't feel love. This is something we talk about. With me, you feel it the most, but I want you to continue. I feel your love. I love your love, and I love you.
Well, I think that's just
the
a
most
struggle of
important thing.
depression or people who grew up like me. Like, if some of your parents really didn't pay attention to you, you don't know what it's like because you're so used to giving yourself validation, I guess, and just like seeking it out that you don't know what it's like for it to be free.
What do you like about it from me?
I've had to work for it. I mean, I like everything. You make me feel so confident in just being myself.
As you should, lovey.
I just like having you.
The more
around the
you
house.
could be, this is what I love for everyone. Like somebody was asking me, like, what's my type? Like, how did Gabby like? And I'm like, honestly, my type is somebody who is themselves, the most you. Like, I know it's like, Mr. Rogers' gay shit, like only you can be you, but it's really true. And I think part of us forgoing the, straight, narrow path,
By
that
how being a
America,
lesbian?
that capitalism has designed for us
By
to keep
not
us,
having a wedding?
no, I mean just career wise, by betting on ourselves and
Exhausting.
it is exhausting, but by investing in being us and seeing what that can yield,
Yeah.
we get to practice being more and more us, versus the world
Yeah.
is designed to stifle individuals, to stifle people as much as possible, to conform
Yeah.
and
Well,
have them not thinking
well,
who they are and
a
just
lot,
working for money.
I'm learning, because I won't even tell you what I'm reading. I just can't say it out loud, even though I probably already said it out loud here.
Babe, there's like a hair chunk there.
I know it's okay. I've been learning that, if some of your parents, they had us young, they probably grew up with some of their needs not being met, that they don't like, when their children not only challenge them but are individual in some way, because it might make them question themselves. And that's what I'm kind of learning. But yeah, you're such an individual, and that is obviously why you're so successful. I mean, you can do, now people want you for all of these roles because you're obviously so effortlessly funny, and you're identifiable, and you just bring yourself to everything. It's like, I was thinking last night, we just had your family in town, which was amazing.
Right.
But I don't know if they ever thought, if
your family too.
I know, I feel like my family exponentially multiplied overnight, and I never thought I would. I guess I just never thought. People
When
like,
my
did you
mother
ever
gave you your
think? And
first
I'm
book.
like, I just don't ever really think, I just don't really think about things, about, the future. But I'm like, I never thought I'd be surrounded. Some people, they're like, a family, I have to marry into a good family. I've just, to me, it's about the person. And we
Thank
always
God.
say, we're each other's family. But I feel like your family has just been a huge blessing. And now I understand why people want that and say that, because I feel really close to them. But what I was going to say is that growing up not even just the way you did, but coming from such a big family, it's really like, I think, rare to you came from humble beginnings. You worked in finance, and now you're literally on the hottest shows on TV. Like, it's insane.
No, it is. And, the acting thing, I was hesitant a little bit. I was really worried. I didn't advertise that Hacks is coming out or Dying for Sex, because my first roles, I don't know if it's going to translate. I've seen it work both ways. I've seen people pop off their first roles, and some people, it's just, it doesn't click. I remember on set for Dying for Sex, they were teaching me about finding my light, and, your light is here. And I didn't really understand what
I'm
they
good
mean.
at
That
finding my light.
They mean that literally,
Like
the
this.
light is here, get in the light.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I really came into it, and I take it so seriously, because anything I do, I want to take seriously. I don't want to waste people's time. So giving me this opportunity, I mean, obviously I got the role, I auditioned for the role, but still, once you get there, it's a different beast. There's so many people on set, and
You're professional. You can be
I want
like,
it to be good. I don't want to dial anything in. So it's
Yeah.
nice to be recognized for that. On the family front, I'll say that growing up, I was given this idea that my family wasn't a good family. It's
You guys are
interesting. Like,
amazing.
I
You
ended
love
up
each
going
other
to this
so
like
much.
rich private school on subsidy, and I was never described like, I always thought that I wouldn't marry good or whatever, because at this school, it was very much, well, they come from a good family. What did that mean? The parents were together, or, or if they were divorced, they were happily married, both now mansions. They
it
were
was
rich.
more a financial gauge versus
Yeah,
a
like
love.
a good family. It didn't mean that. And I was taught, well, we were on welfare. My mother was a single mother, kind of like, oh, she had all these 10 kids. She's coming from a religious background, extremely humble and poor. We didn't have a car. My mother didn't have a license. We were always spotted on the bus everywhere, my
Yeah.
mom and a gaggle of kids. And it's, as I've left that community and become more into myself, realizing like how much of a good family my family is. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it's not like, it's not like the glitziest, but now it's like, yeah, my mother just had so much heart and music and you
culture.
know,
She's
and culture.
so smart
You know,
and introduced you guys to so many things.
yeah, we didn't get to go to movies every week. She rented movies. We went from the library. We took out books.
It's still interesting stuff. And like
Yeah.
her perspective is so interesting. And I can only imagine how much she just taught you guys, because by even just talking, she always says something with a lot of thought behind it. Like when she was talking about her hearing aids,
Yeah.
it's like naturally she just had a take. She wasn't just, oh, I got my hearing aids too, now I can hear. You know, she really went into what she thought, which was that she thought she was going in for a scam. They could have scammed her. That's
Yeah.
what she expected. But they were actually, 5 years later, she learned that you could tune up her hearing aids, and she wouldn't be charged an arm and a leg. But it's like, it's interesting talking to people who want to share their perspective.
Yeah,
it's just
and I
never
think that's
boring.
why I have a take on everything, because
Yeah.
people are like, you always have a take. I'm like, I guess my mother can be talking about hearing aids and she can have a take.
Yeah, you're always thinking in takes.
Yeah, and I think like having the family over and seeing how far we've come made me like reconsider, like, oh, I come from a good family. It doesn't have to, like, there's no formula. I do think love is the definition of it. Now listen, I have 6 siblings that I'm close with, and 3 done their own thing, and that's good. You know, that's all fine and well too. It's not perfect still, but this idea that I was really meant to think growing up, and we didn't have people over, and the house had cockroaches, and we were so looked down upon, but in the end love prevailed.
Yeah.
And I do come from a good family, and I realize that now. Good is not financial means and necessarily it certainly helps, and it's nice to be able to host my family now.
Yeah, I feel like that's so special, being able to share it. I mean, I've only known them for however long we've been together, but on Sunday after they all left, I was feeling like not only the scaries, but a little more than melancholy, just a little, just really heavy. And it's like, oh, being around family, you touch grass. You realize that there's so many different ways to live your life. You don't have to be thinking about work all the time, and they keep you so present.
Yeah,
because they're different. They
and my mother is not able to be any other way, because she doesn't have a cell phone. She's the most
entertaining person in the whole world.
She just loves, like, when she picked out that book for you, because my mother is now Jews for Jesus, and they tell her that, gay people, but she can't help but love. Like, she breaks the rules of her religion, because she's like, well, will Gabby like this book?
Yeah.
Is she doing anything wrong by buying Gab a book? And she right away in the store had to
she wrote an inscription to me, a letter to me. That might be my first, I think maybe you did too, but that might be my first book that anyone's ever written something to me.
My mother sends a book. She writes in it, why did she think it was for you? Why you might enjoy it. She hopes you enjoy it.
I feel like you have so much, she's done that so much for you and probably everyone in the family, but it really felt like it was an invitation to be a part of the family.
See?
It was so sweet.
And you are. They love you.
I love you.
I'm going to have lipstick all over my face.
And everyone's so supportive, and everyone's so happy for us. It's like, I feel like there's, not that there should be in your family, I think but it's not always like that, but there's no jealousy. Everyone's just so excited to be a part of our life, and it's really,
and it's not to say
life is better when shared. I definitely believe that with you, even sharing your life with one other person, but even sharing it with other people. I mean, Shmuley kept saying you live in a fantasy land.
Well, we do live in a fantasy land now, and it's very pinch me, and and it's just so nice to have the extra room so we could have people sleep in that room, like to have another room where we can have guests.
Room. And they love it. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, they love it, and they love you.
And I love them.
Welcome to the family, baby.
Thank you, baby.
And it's not to say there haven't been jealousy or other, there are some tumultuous relationships in my family still. I mean, obviously my father is the big one, not involved, and when he is, it's really not good. But some other siblings, and
I was
that's okay too if you can't weather the storms.
Not about your dad, but I was thinking about Yehudas.
What happened? What were you thinking about Yehudas? My little sister, the baby of 10 kids, comes, and she's a delight, and I want her to come and stay with me. Yeah. But she has a way
No.
She cannot. She
You
loves to come
do?
to the U.S. and
You
and
do?
and see the CVS.
No, we love
it's
that,
like, I
babe.
just
Because
picked
I
her
would be
up
the
at the
same.
LAX.
I love a pharmacy,
Rush
so
hour.
I totally relate to her. I feel like
I
I
picked up
get
3
Yehudis.
people that day.
And
I
you
picked
and
up my
Yehudis
mother,
kind of
Shmuley,
remind
and
me of
Mariana,
me and you.
and Yehudis.
Because she'll give
And
it
then
back
at
to you,
9:30
which
at
is
night,
rare.
she
Robbie
has
is
to
the
go to
same-
CVS to
Robbie
get
is
an
the
enema.
same way with her family. It's hard. You do. You. I don't know how to describe it, but can I? The
She's
kettle
like,
corn.
yeah, she's like, there's only the only brand of enemas I like are sold at CVS. I was like, why do you need an enema? We get there. She doesn't even need the enema. She's like, you know what? I don't need it.
I don't even,
clear.
and I know she keeps saying, the power of salt water, the power of salt water. I'm like, I just don't know if we really need, it's like douching. It's like we've been bamboozled. But anyways, not about her enema, but when we were at the graduation and Robbie
Shout out to
doesn't,
my sister Devorah, who graduated
Yes.
USC with a master's in
Oh my
social
God.
work. I mean, literally has been volunteering for years. Now she's got a position.
she worked at the
doing
crisis
work.
center. I was learning. She worked
Yeah.
for the suicide hotline.
Yes, she did.
Oh my, I'm like, what was that like?
Just being there for people. That's all it is. Like, it's
Yeah.
very much work of the heart. It's being there. It's having, she was explaining to me, like having somebody to speak to in that moment, getting through it, letting it pass with them.
Yeah, well, she said it's actually, if by the time they're on the phone with suicide hotline, they didn't already jump. They just want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to that, we were at the graduation. And sometimes I feel like if it's not your idea or you're not involved with something,
Babe, stop.
you don't like it.
That's not true, Lovey.
No, so we were we were passing the kettle corn around. They don't have snacks like this
We
in
were going
Canada.
for a huge Italian meal after.
It was kettle corn and we were all sharing it. Popcorn takes up absolutely no space in your stomach. So we were passing it back and forth. Like me, Yehudis, your mom, Shmuley would get some. The graduation, Debbie wasn't even near the beginning yet. It was all the opening,
We weren't
whatever,
sure her name
whatever.
could be called at
no,
any
we
point.
knew we were keeping close tabs on Debbie. She wasn't even close. And Robbie could not take the kettle corn anymore.
I can't. Stop it. Everybody take a handful and that's it. I don't need it passed over me a million times.
She didn't like it because she didn't want any kettle corn.
No, I
and
had
finally, no, she just like, it wasn't her idea and we were having fun without her. So Robbie took the kettle corn. There is maybe a quarter of the bag left.
Nothing
We could have easily finished it though. We were well on our way and we didn't make it to dinner until much later. Robbie twisted it up and put it she put it on the ground and stomped on it.
No, I didn't
with
stomp
her-
on it.
Yes, you did.
No,
with
I
her
was passing it to
bodegas.
Yehudis. I
Yes,
was passing it to Yehudis because I was done. That was it. One
You
more
didn't-
time it was
you
passed
did-
over me and that was it.
No,
It
you didn't
reminds
pass
me-
it to her. You did not pass it
But
to her.
yes,
you put
no,
it under.
then I was-
no,
I
babe,
wasn't
you
kicking
put
it, babe. You think I
yes,
was
you
kicking
did.
it.
No, you
I
put
kicked
it.
it like this.
No,
I did
you put
this.
it under your seat, and she got mad. She was like, "How dare you? This is my
My
kettle corn."
sister and I need
and
something
got
to squabble about for a second. It
No,
gets
no,
our
you
jitters
don't.
up.
You need
No,
something to
she
squabble
does,
about.
believe me,
No, she
between
doesn't. No, 'cause she
CVS
was
was the
serious.
night before.
She called. No, you needed something to squabble. And you didn't have to step on it. It was under the seat, like at a sporting events game. We were at the stadium at USC, and then Robbie went under the seat with her heel and stomped.
No,
on
I didn't
it.
stomp. I went
And
like
then they were
this.
fighting over me. But I just didn't want to laugh because you can talk your way out of everything. And
Babe.
Yehudis goes, "Why are you so threatened? I'm just a mom from Vancouver." She's like, "Why are you threatened by a mom from Vancouver?"
She always
best
has.
line.
Yehudis is the baby of the family. She's a very unique position, obviously, of 10. So she's extra used to getting her way because we all
Babe,
love
she just wanted some kettle corn.
No,
it
she
wasn't
had a
even
ton of
her
kettle
way.
corn.
No, babe.
Nobody
you
had
just
a
don't
shortage of kettle
No,
corn.
you're always trying to control
No,
the
it
situation.
was going
if it's
over-
not, no,
if I
it's
wasn't
not
sitting
the
in
way
the middle.
you like it, if it's not the way you
This
like
is
it, then it's
reminding
not
me, I
happening.
took a flight once. I was in middle seat as usual. And I was sitting next to, there was a son here, grown son, 25, maybe 6'2". The father, 6 feet. At the aisle, I'm in the middle. The son is at the window. We take off. The father and the son start taking out snacks. And they start passing each other Doritos over me. I go, "Do you want to sit together?" They go, "No, we're okay." The whole flight, they were passing each other snacks. Babe, I have PTSD from that. The kettle corn was going here. Then it was going here.
the kettle
Shmuley was
corn-
like, "Is there any more popcorn?" I said, "There's no more. There's no more. I took the bag, I closed it, I put it here. Yehuda said I wanted it, and I kicked it over to her.
You did not kick it
Yes,
over,
I
babe. No,
did.
you know you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, this
Babe,
is your
you know.
mices.
You didn't
no,
see.
I was
Babe,
right
I
there.
didn't kick the corn.
No,
I don't know
if
what to
I
tell
wish
you.
Yehudis was
I
here
gotta quit
so
this
bad.
because I
She's-
didn't kick
No,
the
she's
corn.
gonna, she's gonna write in. We know.
Yehudis, we gotta get you on. What happened?
Should we
She knows
call
I
her?
didn't kick. Okay, call her.
Should we?
Yeah,
Okay, ask her.
I'm calling her now.
Okay,
What's the
yeah, and
difference?
ask her what really happened and if you kicked the popcorn.
Well, I know I didn't, so we can.
Babe, you did. You didn't kick it. You stomped on it.
No, I didn't.
Babe, you did.
That's what you think I did because
No.
obviously you didn't see.
Babe, I was right next to you.
No.
You're lying right.
Hi, you're live on Gab's podcast.
Oh, hi.
Gab wants to know what happened with Popcorn Gate.
Did she step on your kettle corn?
No, I kicked it to you
No.
What happened
with the popcorn.
at the USC grad?
Yes.
Listen, you were very aggressive, Robby. I don't know why.
What do you mean? You were passing the corn over me. Everybody
Babe,
had
let
enough
her talk.
popcorn.
Let her talk.
No, Shmuel looked at me, gave me the eye that he wanted more popcorn. So I said, I passed it to Shmuley, and then you decided to just break it down. It was
No, I didn't.
You did.
I closed the bag and I put it under the seat. You wanted it, so I kicked it over.
Didn't she step on
It was mean
after?
girl behavior. It was mean girl behavior. It's okay, I love you, but it was mean.
Okay, well, I love
a
you.
mean thing to
Okay,
do.
what about the
I love you
CVS?
so much.
What about the
I think
CVS?
it was mean.
Why was it mean? I just picked you up at the airport.
You knew we were coming. You don't even have milk for the coffee. I mean,
We ordered milk to the house. Gab and I were busy all week. We didn't have time to do a shop.
Okay, but you know what? It's not easy for me to leave the house without my child. They're
I
going
know
to
that.
County, I'm a-
But we had milk by the time you went to the house.
Listen, and maybe because we just moved in, I still had a great time. All is good.
Okay, we love you, Yehudis. Thank you for entertaining us.
Maybe I'm threatened by a mom from Vancouver.
She's threatened.
You know what? I didn't want to say it, but I don't know why you're so threatened. I'm just a mom in Vancouver. I love you so much.
I love you so much.
It's so cool. I'm on your podcast. Oh, I love it. I cannot believe
When you got to the CVS and didn't grab an enema, that was it for me. Because you lied to me to get me to the CVS.
You told me also as a host, just because I do a lot of hosting, you need to make the guests.
She kept saying, as a host, as a mother.
The bathroom. You kept saying I'm too long in the bathroom. Guess what? So you know what? I took that one shower and I waited to shower until I came to Vancouver. I reached.
Everybody is sleeping. It's 1 a.m. She's in the bathroom.
Babe, you got to put
For
in
an hour.
earplugs.
No.
We wear earplugs
The light's
around
fully
here.
on. Shmuley can't sleep. The lights are through his room. It's a glass door.
Well, you got to come with an eye mask and
Couch is very
earplugs.
comfortable though. It's incredible. It's
It
like
is
a
really
bed.
incredible. Gab brought
It
that
is.
couch.
It's incredible. Like I sunk in. It's the perfect. It's soft, but it's firm at the same time.
Did Nadav get his cigarettes? Don't forget.
Yeah, I got his cigarettes. He was like, "Don't forget my cigarettes." and I went. By the way, Wolfgang Puck has a restaurant in the
Ah,
in the
delicious.
terminal. Delicious. And there was also California Pizza Kitchen. I love their salads that they do. It's so good.
Delish.
I love
Enjoy.
American stuff.
I know. We love
And we
you.
love you.
Okay, love you.
So are you guys doing a podcast together right
It's
now?
I'm on
Yeah.
Gab's podcast, long-winded.
Yes, and we had to tell the kettle corn story. And you know what? Yeah, because Robby didn't remember it right.
No,
So
I did. We had to.
We had to
Stop.
ask
You
to
guys
come
weren't
in.
there under my foot. I would never kick it. I would never
What?
ruin
Oh
food.
my Yehudis.
Mean girls never remember it. As the victim of the aggression, I remember every detail. But of
Okay.
course.
Okay. I love
Okay,
you. Goodbye.
we love you.
Okay, love you so much.
Okay. Love. Bye. This is ridiculous.
No, but you do it out of love. And
Revision history.
No, you revisionist history.
No, this is
no, but that's the
really-
thing is, I seeing you around your family is it makes you even more attractive to me, and it allows me some perspective, about how how you are with everyone. Sometimes I'll take things personal, but I know it's not personal. Like you texting in the middle of the podcast, please. Okay, let's give it.
Revisionist history, love.
As you know, I'm married. I'm a wifey. I found my human. Just kidding. I'll never say that. But I did find my lifelong partner. And naturally and normally in long-term relationships, you want to shake things up. So I know you know Aria. We're talking about it all the time. And that's because it's great. It's a new service for couples that makes it easier to break out of the routine and bring the spark back. It turns been there, done that into whoa, ho, ho. Let's do that again. Whatever that is literally none of my business. And the best part is Aria's concierge. It's a real person. Think of them like your relationship's wingman, someone you can message anytime, who gets to know your vibe and tailors everything to you. The more they learn about you, the better it gets. No guesswork, no more awkward combos, just real connection, customized. It helps bring back the excitement of the early days, but it helps bring back the excitement of the early days while keeping the deep connection you've built. Honestly, the best of both worlds. So, ready to break out of routine with Aria? Visit arya.fyi and use code GabbyWindy for 15% off to get started today. Spring is in full bloom on DraftKings Casino. New offers and promos are sprouting up daily. Right now, new players can play $5 on anything and get 350 casino spins instantly on a featured slot game. Download the app and sign up with code GabbyWindy. Take the featured slot for a spin and explore thousands of others in the DraftKings game library. Check back daily to claim the hottest offers and promos on DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus. Physically present in Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Connecticut and Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins valid for featured game only and expire in 168 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends June 15th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Did I tell you? Did I even tell you? I got the butterfly cut and I cut off a decent amount from the end. I was at first I wanted to go shorter. And we were like, obviously wanted to be conservative, and I love it. And it blows out perfectly, but I don't like to do this thing where I blow out at home and then it doesn't stay. By the time I leave the house, I look drab and flat. Well, not with Dry Bar. This podcast is presented by Dry Bar's all-inclusive 8-in-1 multi-styler and blowout defense collection, an all-in-one game-changing tool and liquids that together deliver blowouts that last up to 96 hours. Let me tell you about the all-inclusive styler. Dry Bar's first tool of its kind to combine both heated airflow and heated styling attachments so you can take your hair from wet to dry to styled with just one tool. This is what I'm talking about. A streamlined hair tool. It can't be messing around with all these different things, different brushes, a different nozzle, a different this and a different that. This has 4 attachments with 2 modes to give you 8 different ways to style. The concentrator, the flat iron, the curling iron, and the round blow dryer brush for your favorite Rachel Green. Don't just get ready, but stay ready. Get a blowout that lasts now and shop Dry Bar's all-inclusive and blowout defense products at drybar.com.
Okay, we can't really kiss because of your lips, so I don't know what you want to do.
Okay, well, should we talk about Deadly American Marriage?
Why did they call it Deadly American Marriage?
When they're Irish.
Like, one's like, the whole point is like this, it's like, should be Deadly American Irish. Like,
I know. Deadly,
but
yeah.
these people, like,
Irish American
it's really
marriage.
crazy that these people are walking free. Like, obviously the father
Yeah.
is an FBI informant and is paid off, and maybe he has, the
Yeah.
appellate court that decided to overturn this guilty verdict. I mean, I'm sure the father
What's
has
appellate court?
when they appeal.
Uh-oh.
Right. So at first, these people were
Sounded
obviously
bigger than
found
that.
guilty of murdering this man in really cold blood.
Yeah.
And then they appealed it. And obviously their father, the father murderer, who was an FBI guy for years.
Yeah, he worked in
He
and
obviously
he worked
had some
in counter
pedophile blackmail
intelligence.
off this appellate judge who overturned the
yeah.
guilty and freed them essentially.
That's immediately where Robby goes, which not to say she's wrong, but now it's like when we see a situation like this, like if you mind, I don't know if you mind
But
that.
this is why
that
people
I
have
say
distrust in the
last
courts,
time.
because they operate like a
it's-
mob.
No, it's corrupt. Yeah, obviously. Even if he doesn't have pedophile blackmail, even if they are in cahoots together and they're smug about it. It's like, your line, a murder is out there. This isn't doing it justice. These two kids are victims. They've lost both of their parents and now a third that they thought was their mom, but she has to stop calling her their mom. But
Like, she's
it's like
still
they
manipulative.
like to see
Did
themselves
anybody
get
watch
out
American
of this.
Murder? What's it called?
American Deadly Murder, Deadly
Okay.
American
Does
Marriage.
anybody think these two? By the way, they were like,
No, the whole conversation online is
the
that
father
they're
is
obviously
like,
guilty.
I'm not a liar. My daughter's not a liar. It's like, we just caught her in so many other lies that are, and not
Yeah.
about pertaining to the specific murder. She lied about birthing the youngest daughter at her mommy group. She lied about knowing the original mother, the birth mother, being friends. She was an au pair. She was a
Yeah.
slutty au pair who saw a ticket
She
to
coached
having
the kids
that she couldn't have.
Yeah, and the kids finally got old enough and understood what was going on and admitted. They didn't even have to wait that
And
long
I've
that
met
they felt
psychopaths
terrible.
like this before. Like, they're
Yeah.
really talking like they think they got one over you.
Right.
Like, they're trying to talk sophisticated. They tried to throw
Yeah.
the birth mother's father, this poor Irish dude who just, you could tell even from a photo, the heart radiating from him. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he wasn't so well spoken, but he did say that, that the
yeah.
husband,
The
and
dead
then
wife's
he actually
mother.
took to court and be like, by the way, I never said
That
this.
you
Like,
lied.
they think they can take advantage of
Everyone's
the poor.
just like
and they can.
what's jarring to me about these things, which you've seen so many of these murder docs now, but how comfortable these people are at lying. They'll just lie straight to your face. If I need to lie, I could not lie straight to your face. I'd have to
it's like
do
what you
some
said.
kind of a roundabout. It's not even like sociopathy, because I feel like those people just don't have empathy, or they would, like, to me, a sociopath would sit right here and be like, yeah, I killed him. But maybe she thinks she's genuinely a good mom, or that she inherently deserved the kids. She
For
was like,
those who don't know the story, this family in Ireland, a father, a mother, two kids living in Ireland. The mother died
Of an
tragically,
asthma attack.
Of an asthma attack. She's a
Young.
lifelong sufferer of asthma. It went really bad. The sister
Yeah.
was there. There's multiple.
the sister was there
instances.
as a witness because they tried to pin it on,
Yes.
know.
So anyway, this mother dies in a horrible, the ambulance isn't there in time. They were trying to save her. Or
So
whatever.
then the two
Okay.
kids are left
The
motherless.
two kids are left motherless with a single father.
He
the
needs a
single father
nanny.
had to go back to work at some point after the funeral.
Naturally.
He hires an au pair from an au pair nanny service.
Yeah.
The kids are very young. They're like 2 and 4. So
Terrible
one's at
idea.
home. Yeah. So he gets this au pair. This au pair ingratiates herself into the family, takes on the kids.
They start a romantic relationship.
She starts
which,
a romantic relationship with this grieving father. He's asking to go slow. He's not sure. He's conflicted.
Yeah.
But the kids are starting to like her, and it's maybe a good thing for him to have a mother in their life. They were so young when
makes
she died.
it easier. Yeah.
She
there's
gets him to
love.
move to the U.S., where her father is an FBI, like literally at the top of the FBI in North Carolina, very, very rich county. They move there, where he's essentially trapped in this life. He's getting over the grief. He's starting to see what a psychopath she is, and he's starting to rethink.
Trying to take away his kids from him, which is the underline.
Right.
And
so
that
he starts to get wind of this.
Yeah.
He starts to, as he's in America and he's further from his grief, he starts to realize his situation. Like, oh, maybe this isn't the best. Maybe we should go back to.
He's picking. The sirens are going off. Yeah. There's red flags. Yeah. He's like, I got to get the fuck away from this lady.
He had grief lenses on, which he's like, well, it's good for the kids. Maybe I can love again. Whatever. He starts to wake up to this, and he's starting to think about going back to Ireland with the kids. She gets wind of this, and her father comes over
for an emergency visit. Or no, they're like a last minute visit. Oh, they're just 4 hours away. Let's go on a Saturday morning. Who does that?
The father drives 4 hours with a bat, the murder weapon.
Well, we don't know if it was with the bat.
Yes, we do.
The bat could have been at the house.
No. I read it on Reddit. It's his bat. He brought the bat.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Okay. And she had the brick.
Yeah, the cinder blocks.
Okay, she had a cinder block brick in her room. Insane.
Yeah,
and they killed. She instigated a fake fight with him. She also drugged him with some type of antihistamine.
That was nothing. They put in such erroneous information. They were like on the autopsy because obviously, it's the defense versus. Wait, who's the defense? No, but this is what I'm trying to say is they put in such erroneous like medical, just like with the wife that died of the asthma attack, the people who are defending the woman and the family. The defense was like, oh, the dead dad could have killed the asthmatic, and there doesn't need to be any strangulation marks. This is a lie.
Okay, babe. I don't know what happened. Can I finish the synopsis?
But can I finish? No, but they released a medical report of what was in his system at the time, and they were like, oh, he's on sedation. It's a trazodone. I give a trazodone to Nardo. It does absolutely nothing.
Okay, but Nardo is fucked.
No, he's a dog, and he's 50 pounds.
Babe,
and
this dog was supposed to be dead of cancer.
I know, but you would think a trazodone should have done something, but it doesn't. But they think they're throwing in this information that's really going to be like, oh, gotcha. And it's actually pointless. They have no idea what they're talking about. All the while delivering this information in a very, I'm above this way, like happy about it.
Yeah, they have a very smug, everything. Like, listen, we've been running the FBI. I know the ins and outs. He was like a severe. What was his position in the FBI? Like he was like literally
He said he worked for the FBI in counterintelligence. That's what they said in the doc. I don't know in all of your other.
So bottom line, the husband now who's moved his 2 kids from Ireland to the U.S. gets wind that his wife, she gets wind. His new wife gets wind that he might go back to Ireland. He's having second thoughts about moving to the U.S. Mm-hmm. He might go back and restart his life and get back on track, okay? She invites her father over, who's this FBI informant guy, and together they murder him with a bat and a brick. Block.
And multiple times they said, trigger warning. They said chunks. In spoiler alert, we spoiled the whole documentary. Chunks of his skull was on the floor,
like past the point of self-defense.
Yeah,
okay.
No,
they tried to pretend like this guy, who, by the way, they showed clips, they showed evidence. She was recording him all over the house. You'd think they'd pick the worst clips of her alleged. Yeah. She alleged that he was domestically abusive. The clips they showed were literally her being. They weren't even like positive for her. It was him saying he wants to have dinner with his kids and her denying him of that.
Yeah.
And he's frustrated. He never screams,
but
nothing.
He's at his wit's end with her. He's like, this is what I said. Yeah, I want the kids to hear this because you can tell she's pitting them against each other. She's splitting them up. She's working in her manipulative ways. And she's like, well, why do you want, why are the kids here to witness this? But he probably needs everyone there to corroborate how crazy she is.
So and you guys can't do watch this.
Yeah, you can't do a one-sided bug because she probably edited everything out.
Of course, the whole thing, and then at the end they were they were able to finagle. It almost reminds me of gerrymandering voting districts so as to win, ensure your candidates win. They were able to finagle between what they're admitting into evidence and what's inadmissible into evidence to the point that they were able to secure an appellate if I say apple, it won't. They were able to, in the appeal, secure a trial without a jury. That just one judge now would look at all the quote unquote evidence and make that decision.
And why
well,
is it
that
the judge
that's a red flag
always
to me
makes the
because
wrong
obviously he
decision?
was friends with this
Yes,
judge.
they're all in on it together. When
It
you have a
needs to be
group
open to a jury.
of powerful white men, they're all in cahoots. Which it's like if that family had no money and there was a woman, normally she would be found guilty. So this is like the one.
This is like the
one
worst
time.
Amber Heard Blake Lively situation.
Yes.
This is like when it becomes like literal murder.
Yeah.
Like this is like she is on here. Like that is the Rushmore. That's the Rushmore of you know, of the Ambers. You got Amber, the first, the queen. Then you got
Blake Lively.
Blake Lively, of course.
Yeah.
Now you have this literal freak nanny Molly.
Yeah, Molly. I forget her name.
Yeah, and
Oh my
maybe
God,
we throw Scamanda on there.
But she never like faked domestic violence.
No, exactly. But maybe we throw.
And they tried to even like it's just so crazy.
Okay,
the
we'll
way
give
they
it Hilaria Baldwin.
She
Hilaria
doesn't
Baldwin.
fake. Speaking of Hilaria Baldwin, Bethany Frankel, if you're listening, I woke up to a TikTok yesterday.
She was very unhappy.
That Bethany Frankel said that I had a likeness to Hilaria Baldwin. She said, I don't know, talking to her massive audience, I don't know if you guys know Hilaria Baldwin is on TikTok, but you got to tune in. She reminds me of Gabby Windy, the wackiness. On the record, I resent that remark. On the record, all press is good press.
On the record.
I know you're a freak. I'm a freak. We're all freaks around here. So what about Field? Field is a dating app for the curious. They're on a mission to elevate the human experience of sexuality and relationships. Imagine a world where everyone is more intimately connected to each other and themselves. Field's ever-evolving platform creates safer, more inclusive spaces online and IRL for everyone to express and explore gender, sexuality, and desire outside of existing blueprints. We don't do blueprints around here. We're all beating to the drum of our own sexual percussion. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want, especially with Field. While most dating apps are all about pursuing someone else, there's one that's carved out a space for you to find yourself. Field is a place where people discover themselves again and again and again. Whether it's exploring their sexuality and realizing they're queer, everyone's queer. Hello, we're all gay. We're all at least a little gay. Or exploring their kinky side and realizing they are a dom. The possibilities are endless. You have options, maybe more than you think, with 20 plus sexuality and gender identities to choose from. You have the freedom to explore who you are and what you like in ways you haven't imagined. Oh, come on. Get on Field already. Download Field on the App Store or Google Play. That's FEELD. I love to crack a cold one. A cold soda. And do I have news for you? Simply has launched a new prebiotic soda, Simply Pop. The new juicy soda. There are 5 flavors: pineapple, mango, lime, strawberry, citrus punch, and fruit punch. Say less, all my favorite flavors. They're made with real fruit juice because, please, I hate it when they're not. Simply Pop supports gut health with 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, no added sugar, and is sweetened with juices monk fruit extract. Now we're talking. Supports immune health with zinc and vitamin C. Simply Pop is a flavor that just pops. I'm always looking for something that's carbonated, and that is Simply Pop. It's a fruit-forward bevy of prebiotic sodas made with 6 grams of prebiotic fiber to support gut health and vitamin C and zinc to support immune function. I personally like the strawberry flavor because obviously it's the most decadent. So, for flavor that pops, Long Winded chooses Simply Pop. Go to cokeurl.com/simply pop to find out where you can try it. I've been watching lots of TV and movies. It's kind of like how last summer was the summer for pop culture. I feel like this summer is the summer for TV and movies. And God knows we needed it. I'm in acting classes and I got to learn. I watch it through a different lens. You wish. You can too. So I saw The Materialists and incredible. Dakota Johnson is enchanting. I mean, besides her ethereal attraction, are you guys surprised I know this big of words? I know these big words, but Dakota Johnson is amazing. She's in a love triangle, which like God, we all wish we were her with Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans. I mean, if I was straight, but it was shot amazingly. The music is insane. I Shazammed like every other song. Yeah, I have to rewind because I'm always looking for new inspirational music. And I feel like a movie with a good soundtrack just makes it so much better. I mean, Pedro Pascal, as you know, we're fans of each other's work. And this was no different. He's suave. There's no other way to say it. He crosses his legs. He's classy. He lives in a gorgeously designed space, which is probably not that different than how he lives in real life. But he's the gentleman, we wish that we could all find on a site like Hinge. Well, it would take you a lot of swipes. It just would. I'm sorry. And Chris Evans, he's looking great. He's looking like he's got, he's growing into himself. He has a nice scruff going on. I mean, he's charismatic. There's just so much chemistry between him and Dakota. There's makeout scenes. We need sex. Sex sells. So it has everything. It has a great soundtrack. It has great acting. It has great design, and it has a hot makeout scene. Like, this is what I want. It reminds me of the classic Reese Witherspoon, This Means War, when she's in a love triangle. Like, I just think we need to bring a lot of these movies back. You just can't miss with the love triangle. And Materialist is as heartwarming as it is heartbreaking. The juxtaposition really keeps you involved. So I cannot recommend it enough. You better go see it, and you better go see it in theaters because it's better there anyway. Only in theaters, June 13th. This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time. Time is money, people. All in one place, all on your own terms. This is what we all want. And my favorite part is Squarespace payments because let's be real, money is important. And Squarespace payments is the easiest way to manage your payments in one place with Squarespace. Onboarding is fast and simple. Get started in just a few clicks and start receiving payments right away. Give me the cash. Plus, give your customers more ways to pay with popular payments like Klarna, ACH, Direct Debit, Apple Pay, and Afterpay. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, squarespace.com/Gabby to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Squarespace.com/Gabby to save 10% off. What are you even waiting for?
No, so I'll say my Rushmore just to clarify.
Here we go.
We got at the top of it, we got Amber. She started this mess. Then you got Blake on the
I'm
left.
sure it existed
To the
before
right to her,
Amber.
you have
this
Molly.
Molly was actually before Amber Heard. This dates back to 2017.
But Amber put them on the
Her
map.
face is the biggest on the
Amber
Rushmore.
put them on the map. Molly, because she actually committed murder with a cinder block,
Yeah.
is insane up there. And then we give it Hilaria for jokes. That's my Rushmore.
There you go.
Good job. Okay, and then Gabby had a great point where you
What?
were like, these people are so like cuckoo-eyed that they thought doing this documentary.
Yeah.
You were like, they thought doing this documentary would look
would
good
abate
for them.
Yeah. Well, right. Because this is the worst in these kind of documentaries when these, the defense people, whatever, think they're way above and have a point, but they're actually, that's what I'm saying is they're so smug. They had the audacity to go and be filmed, even Molly and her dad. Like you would sit in this documentary. Now you wanna feed the fire. You have to still be on thin ice. Now, hopefully, the documentary was well done. I don't know if they can go appellate again.
Yeah, no,
The
I think they
reappellate to
can't
the
anymore. I think
appellate.
they went Supreme Court.
But
One
it's
judge
like
made the decision.
Them to
and it's
show
done.
their
You paid them
face
off.
on TV like this.
And I'll tell you
like,
what, the
thinking that
judge
it
who
would do them
overturned
any
it,
good.
let's look into him for pedophilia because there's blackmail going on behind the scenes. Wake up. Okay? Because he's on watch now.
Open up your eyes.
What made him overturn this blatant murder?
What made him?
Okay? It's because he's a fucking
Pedophilia.
pedophile. He's a pedophile. And I wouldn't be surprised if he touched those two kids even.
Here
if
we
that
go.
father let him diddle the kids.
Babe, she's just going on a rant. But we'll never know. But obviously something's up. This is just our judicial system. It's like you cannot, unless, you can have a trial if you can afford one.
Yep.
And then you can have two if you can afford two.
And this so-called mother to her kids made these kids go through so many arduous trials.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't care about them if you're going to kill the dad. It's just like you cannot say you had any love for them if you're going to ruin their life in such an insane way.
Even the
I
guy,
mean, it's
even the
not
father
even neglect.
murderer.
It's like it's extreme. It's on purpose, intentional malintent.
And it's like what you said with she continues to use verbiage that ties
She's
her
their
to the
mom.
kids.
And they hate her. She's
hate
like,
her.
as their mother, I was their mother. You cannot
You
own
literally
that
were not their
narrative
mother.
when the
Physically,
kids hate you.
biologically,
Yeah.
legally, like you just are not their mother. You were a nanny. You were a
No.
live-in nanny for some time, and you were the wife. He was very specific about not wanting to give you custody.
Which I can understand. The kids were very special.
Yes.
They're gorgeous. I mean, but and maybe she felt like she wanted to be a part of that, or she wanted to have it be because of her DNA and her doing. But obviously the mom and the dad were amazing. The kids are really smart. They're really just like emotionally aware. They're
I mean,
so
these
cute.
kids had to grow up. I can't even imagine.
No, but now the boy is like massively depressed. You can see in his eyes. I'm like, I
She
would not.
barely had it. The
No,
heart,
I
she
could
was
not.
freaking out.
I am him, and that I would just not be able to handle that situation. The daughter is,
She
really
had to be
strong
strong,
and
yeah.
and smart, but there's just no way. And you can't pick which one you are. It just happens.
Gab kept thinking that the boy, she was like, he's like me. He must be a Capricorn. And he's like an Aries. She's like, see, I said he was an Aries. I'm like, no.
No, I didn't look up his sign. I said that we also went to see Sinners last night. Amazing.
Incredible movie.
Yeah,
I'm really
it
happy I saw it. I can't see scary movies,
I
but
had to force her.
But there's only a few very scary parts, and I closed my eyes.
They had a couple jump scares right in the beginning to kind
Stunning
of grab
movie.
you. Yeah, no, it was insane. It was just the plot. There was no holes in the story.
It was
You'd
just
think such a complicated kind of
gorgeous movie.
story like that, and And it's like if you miss one part of the dialogue, you're lost. Everything was so intentional. But the young guy in it, Sammy, it was his debut. And in the credits, they said introducing, I forget his name.
I think that's the hottest credit, introducing.
Oh my God, it's amazing. But based on his eyes, I've seen sad eyes like that before. And they were always in Aries. But I was one off. He's a Pisces. And they're emotional. So
she also kept calling Michael B. Jordan like short king, like, and
I'm like,
I don't think he's short. She's like, yeah, he's just short. I'm like, how tall? Looked him up. He's 6 foot.
I've heard he's short. I don't know, but yeah, I've also known
he's 6 foot.
I've also known Wikipedia to not be right.
But 6 is the baseline for tall.
Yeah, so he's probably 5'10".
No, he's 6 feet big.
And there was a scene where he was like hugging, his girlfriend, but he was on a chair and I didn't know. And I was like, see, short king, confirmation bias. And you were like, baby's sitting down.
2 seconds later, he stands up.
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
His wife, girlfriend, the natural medicine lady, she was unbelievable.
Incredible. Everybody the casting, was incredible. And on the reviews, everyone liked the casting 100%. It was.
I mean, I kept reading all the articles about it for all the symbolism. It was a gorgeous piece of art.
It really was. Yeah, you'd almost I kind of want to go back and watch it again. And not to mention, they somehow inserted an Irish jig.
No,
in the middle of the movie, and it just hit. You wouldn't expect it, but it was like a Titanic. The last time we had seen it done like this was Titanic and Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean,
really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean they really nailed it.
Titanic. I don't know, but yeah, no, the culmination of the music and the history of just
which, spoiler alert,
black
I don't know if you want to
and taking over the music,
cultural
appropriation.
The
Irish music coming in and trying to take from them, and they just seamlessly blended between the different songs. Musics, and you saw it, and it was just so scary, but so symbolic too.
Yeah, no, it was really amazing. I want to see it again. Normally, I can't sit for that long.
And also,
it was over 2 hours.
Just the filming of it, the periodness of it, driving the old cars. Like,
did you find out if it was Jay Leno's?
No, I wanted to look at the cars because I know Jay Leno has some working. First cars like the Ford automobile or GM or whatever. So I wanted to see because they had working old cars.
That's what I know. And my dumbass was like, this is the first, it's like you guys know I went to public school. I had a lot going on as a child that it finally, after seeing the car and you being like, is that Jay Leno's? I was like, thank God.
Well, I don't know if it's Jay Leno's.
But
I want Jay Leno's cars.
Thank God for artifacts, or else we wouldn't remember history.
It could come from a prop house. I don't know.
I thought they plucked that out of thin air, but we have documentation, and it makes me kind of want to, hold on to things like from the era.
And making Michael B. Jordan a twin, like
twice as much work. My immediate thought, I'm like, can you imagine?
I still don't know. I know we've gotten far with I still don't know how they do that.
Yeah.
How they superimpose it perfectly.
And I wonder how long it took for him to film. I want to know how, maybe did he get paid double? I mean, if I'm playing 2 roles in a movie, like, whoa.
Oh, you're gonna hear
about it.
I'm sure this isn't getting.
It was a $90 million movie.
Yeah, I'm sure he got paid handsomely. Did you have any other questions for me?
Okay, yes, I do. What was it like touching Michelle Williams, and why were you thinking about me?
Well, it was very scary to touch Michelle Williams because it was a very serious day on set.
Yeah.
It was my first day on set that I did that touching scene with her, holding her in that back room of the Bed Bath & Beyond, whatever store we were in.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
And I was very worried that I had halitosis because I've gotten off the plane. I was just having a coffee and there was
my baby's never had halitosis, let me tell you.
But I was like, so I just didn't even get to talk to Michelle and say I loved her in, If These Walls Could Talk Too, a Dyke movie that I showed you early on.
So underrated. I ask everyone who's a lesbian if
nobody
they've
knows
seen
it.
This.
It's lesbian cachet. But I didn't even get to do that because I was afraid to even waste time talking to her if my breath was bad. So I saved it for the scenes and shout out to her because she's such a professional. The ways that I kept you was I actually wore, my character's name was G, which I didn't even know at first. I have a G ring that I got made that scared Gabby initially. When we were dating 3 months, I was so excited about us. I had this ring made that had G's on it for Gabby.
On each
so that
side.
I would always wear her on me. I don't know. I wouldn't get a tattoo. I'd get a ring. Now I have. Right? And so I wore that ring. It so worked out perfectly because my character's name was G. So I wore that ring. So anytime you see me touching the, especially at the sexy and order, you'll see my Gabby ring.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I love
that's how I
that.
kept thinking about it.
I know people are like, did that turn you on? Like, does it make you hot? And I'm like, well, luckily I get this at home, but I'm like, oh my God, not that I'm jealous, but who cares? We're allowed to be jealous. I did one of these, but you're just so good at it.
Jealous.
No, I can't imagine like the day, it comes when you actually really have a makeout scene. I'll go full Ryan Reynolds. I'll go full
baby,
Tommy Lee.
Blow this
tear
shit
up your trailer.
$400 million lawsuits. Let's fucking go. Somebody comes into
Literally.
my trailer when I'm breastfeeding. I don't think so. I don't think so.
She invited him
She's
in. Yeah, and then Justin Baldoni got on next. They were fully in love.
Yeah, wow.
And then that's what went wrong.
That's what went wrong. That's the American murder. Oh, babe. What else?
I'm far away. What else? What do we have coming up? I don't know if I can talk about my job yet.
No, let's not talk about jobs. Any other personals? You're going to be going away for a month. I'm really, really sad.
I know.
She has a job.
Yeah.
At least it's not like traders where I can only speak to you once a
that's
week
what I
and then
was
I would
thinking.
spiral at the 10-minute conversation. Did I instill enough in you? Did I say the right thing?
No, babe, you're the
And
best.
and then it would go dark for a week. I couldn't even speak to you for a week. This time we'll have your phone.
Yeah, and you're gonna come visit.
I might.
But it's hard. But you've been the best. I mean, this is how
We're
I
gonna
really
try.
feel.
Do you have a schedule yet?
Almost, but this is how I really feel. Sometimes because I do get sad. I need a lot of support emotionally that you like feel uncomfortable asking about or asking for. But I know I can really ask you.
Yeah, I never want you.
And-
Like I want you to. I like when you do.
Yeah, but you cleared your schedule.
I've been
This
clearing
weekend
my
and this
schedule.
week.
So she gives me a hard time
Yeah.
doing this podcast today. Meanwhile, I've
No,
been
it's
going
brutal.
through my
we
week.
don't want to do each other's podcasts.
I've been
This
going
is
through.
like-
No. I do want to do it,
people-
but I've been clearing my schedule. Spend time with her. To spend time with her. I've had shows where I go, actually, can we punt this to June? She's going to be
Yeah.
away for a little bit.
It makes me feel, what makes me the happiest is spending every night with you. We had a conversation last week where I was in full blown tears because I was just, I was outside on a summer night eating pho alone.
No,
I
she
got
wasn't.
high.
She
I was
can't,
listening
yeah.
to sad music and I was sobbing. Like, I hope, which, I'm dramatic, whatever.
You
But
salted your fall a little bit with your tears.
yeah, I didn't need it.
Oh.
But I just don't want to eat alone.
No.
We were at a dinner the other night and a couple across from us, we were like, what's being married like? Or what are your tips and tricks? And they were like, I mean, it's all about just not eating alone. And I never
it's all
felt
about
that.
eating together.
Yes, and no, but I never felt that so much. So now I'm weaponizing it. But it's hard because
Okay,
you're
but we
stand up.
love
But
to eat
I
together. I
felt
know.
like I had I didn't have your career's picking up in so many ways, and we just have different schedules. That
Well, we have
I
very
hate
similar, and we do get a lot of time
missing
together. But I
you.
also
Yeah.
realize it's maybe not the hardest thing for me to start doing shows at 8:30. We can eat at 6.
Yeah.
So there are things
I
that
like
if
to
you
get
don't
ready for
talk to
bed.
me about it,
Yeah.
then I can't look into it. Eating dinner together every night is such an amazing tradition, and
Yeah.
it's important
Families
to us
do
now.
it, and we're so good about not having our phones. I mean, we're so tied to our phones because of what we do and emails and Instagram and this and that. But we're actually good about putting away our phones
It
for
was
us
amazing,
time.
and and it's not. It's like we just like doing things together too, like dinner and a
Yeah.
movie, like having those nights. So I don't know if you didn't open up about that, then would I prioritize dinner together? I would obviously try to always, but now it's like even more like, hey, yeah, I'm building my career, but I'm building my marriage. Like and that to me,
is the most important thing. I always want to prioritize us. Like my career, whatever the money you make from it is just, it means nothing without you.
nothing.
mean
And the thing is like, I'm also very pro money. I will never be somebody that like it's not about money. We live unfortunately in a world where they forced us for it to be about money. It didn't have to be this way. They made it this way. So I'm all about that. But what I came out with from my childhood, not having money is and only having love, is now that's really important to me. So I am finding a way. You know how women can have it all? They want a job, they want kids, they want a marriage.
Yeah.
Now my have it all is a career and my wife.
Yeah.
No kids. They're not part of the all. It's my marriage and my career. Those just juggling those two things is fantastic. But my marriage comes without love for me, coming from where I come from, nothing exists. I've already lived without money. And I
could
still
just do
survived
with the
because I
marriage.
had love.
I could just
that
do with
said,
the marriage.
money, we do need money increasingly
We do
more.
need, which is why I'm getting Miss Dow Jones. Thank you so much.
Shout out to Miss Dow Jones.
I gotta have a call with her because I don't want to keep doing this.
She gives financial advice.
I need to retire. You guys know my hours,
but financial
my meeting schedule,
literacy for
my
everybody starting
level
out.
of exhaustion.
She has free tips.
Somebody said that they think my chronic exhaustion. They're convinced that I have a chronic illness from my fatigue. I don't think so, you guys. I think I'm just a sleepy person.
She's Gabby Windy.
I've been through a lot.
That's what she's schluffed out.
Okay, baby.
Okay, baby.
Well, where can we find you?
Well, I'm Robby Hoffman on Instagram. I try and post my dates on the link tree there. You can listen to my podcast, the New York Times calls Addictive Too Far Pod. It is on Patreon only. We do not take corporate dollars because they won't give them to us. So we are Too Far Pod, Patreon only, $5 a month, 3 episodes a month, 5 divided by 3.
You're supporting our family, basically.
5 divided by 3 is $166 an episode for less than a cup of coffee. You can get the Too Far Pod, which is on Patreon, which thank God we don't have to censor. And believe me, it's uncensored.
And on HBO, on
FX,
on Hulu, on all
Netflix.
major networks. Okay, give me a keys.
Love you.
Love you. Wait, get down so we can get a screenshot. Okay. Until next time.
Till next time.